This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. This week, we're going to talk about the Gree, and in particular, the Xeno-Analyst fight, which is one of our favorites. This broadcast astromech this week that will be getting kicked out in airlock to broadcast this podcast to everyone is EPC 292. What's up, EPC 292? Awesome. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey Max, it is going pretty well. We're we're recording on a Tuesday night, so we just finished with MFN, which was a fun night. We went and did a textbook execution of the Xeno analyst fight. It was really very smooth.
Yes.
Um,
Very good. Textbook. Including the step
it,
where you res the tank after the first
yeah, we only lost one tank, one time.
Well, we'll get to that when we do the strats later in the podcast.
Yeah. Um, So we did that. We checked on the world bosses there, the Wampa and the Worm, but they were camped by a few groups. So we went and did rampages instead. So we did Hoth. I mean, we did, and now I'm doing it. We did Ilum 1, 2, and 3, and we did Hoth 1, 2, and 3, which then also got everybody Galactic 1, 2, and 3. Those two together. The Galactic 1, 2, 3. So a lot of conquest points tonight. I came within spitting distance of my personal target on one character, and then I switched because because the next amount of points is going to be a pretty big chunk. So I wanted to go on a new
A
character.
chunk.
A chunk. There's always chunks.
Always chunks.
um, but aside from that, I also went earlier today, like during Coffee and Contemplation, I went to Osis and did the world boss on both my tunes that I'm trying to gear up, which is my Merc and my Commando. I've been avoiding doing them first thing in the morning, but if you do them on Tuesday after 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
right after 8 o'clock, there's a bunch of people waiting around just for 8 o'clock to happen. And 8 o'clock, my time, Eastern time, is when the reset is. So I got in a group right away I was on my imp character and did the world bosses. And then I switched over to anyway, so I'm done with world bosses this week. And then I also went through and did some sort of thinking about what I want to do with the crystals that I have and mess with my gear. So my current plan is on my commando, I'm going to get one more crystal next week. I'll buy the head, which is my last right side thing that I need to buy. I'll buy the 252 and then upgrade it to 258. And that gives me a chance to do the dailies this week. One last chance to actually get the head from one of the dailies, from doing the weekly of 10 dailies, which probably won't happen until after I buy the head. And then I'll just fill in the left side as they come on both characters. That's my plan.
As you get crystals, you mean? As you harvest crystals?
Yeah, as I get crystals, which I will get from either doing world bosses, also as the unassembled components kind of accumulate each week. Every time I get 500, I'll spend it, but I'll put it on my Merc.
Right.
And then,
right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I could spend 500 on each character, but I'm prioritizing my Merc.
Yeah.
Because because our ops team is on the imp side. So that is my gear plan. And I actually did bring out my my Sork that I'm leveling. And when I say leveling, it's not like a very focused power leveling thing, but I bring her out a couple times a week and do a few things and get some XP on her. She's got a experience buff running, so that's pretty much my SWTOR stuff this week.
Cool.
How about you, Max? What have you been up to?
I've been up to some of those similar things. I'm continuing to fill in 252 gear on alts at this point. I've got my main character filled up with all 258, except for main hand offhand. Pretty soon, who's this? What's her name's Azara here just jumped in front of the camera on my stream. Get out of here.
Nice.
She photobombed us. Anyway, I think we could get our group, our Thursday night group, pretty soon into hard mode Queen on
Yeah, that
OSIS,
would be
which would be
nice.
nice. You'd have to
I
do
would like to
that.
do that.
You have to do that like 4 weeks to get your main hand to offhand, or is it four weeks for each piece? I don't remember if it's two masterwork or gargantuan crystals, or if it's four to get your main hand. Anyway, I think we could do that before long. We came up with something. I remember talking to you earlier this week. I think we should put this. We gotta post this somewhere. Get it into some wish list for Bioware. I really think they should take the unassembled components
Yeah,
that you get from pieces out of the crate and basically give you 500
yeah,
for every piece that you disassemble, and let people just go wild with unassembled components and then masterwork crystals, because all this summer we're just going to be gearing up for the 252 258 gear that's going to end up not being useful come October 8th. um,
right.
so, because that's the date that SEMA says that 6.0 is going to launch, it's going to be a whole new gear
Right,
set,
right.
and masterwork crystals and unassembled components are going to converted to like a paltry amount of credits. They're just all going to disappear. So let us gear up our alts. It's just going to, it'll be nice just for a little bit more of the leveling and the getting into the 6.0 stuff.
Yeah, let us spend the summer playing with Veteran Queen and maybe doing some other goals that we have in our group
Yeah,
before they up the raids again and make our gear obsolete also.
right. And then the only other thing that I was certainly doing this week is I probably did about 100 million credits worth of GTN uh, activity, mostly around crafting, mostly around augments. So I got back into a little bit of that. I'm probably about
Mostly or 100%.
100%, just to be clear.
Okay.
I'm trying not to give away all my secrets. No, it could
Oh, well,
it
I
could
was
be
going to ask you
anything.
if you were like buying low and selling high.
It could be selling Tauntaun domestication data packets, but so don't flood the augment market.
Well, I
Could be
didn't say
anything.
augment.
Anyway, so yes, I've done that. I'm probably about 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way to 1 billion credits, which I wouldn't mind getting to someday for no particular reason, because then I'll just spend them on things like that new tuning that I saw today. What was I? Now I've forgotten what it was, but I have probably about half the tunings. But I saw another cool one that somebody said today, that when you put the crystal in, it makes the little flame jet that comes out of the end of the change colors, which I think is cool, and they should do more of that with those
Do you
tunings.
keep your credits in your legacy bank?
Most of them, but certainly not all of them. So I do keep most of them in my legacy bank. Uh,
I need to do that because I really don't know how many credits I have because they're kind of spread
right.
across all my characters.
Yeah, because then you can gather them up and see what it looks like,
Yeah,
and get a sense and feel.
but I don't. I'm not 2/3 of the way to 1 billion. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I may be pleasantly surprised, but I don't think so.
it could be. Who knows? All right, so that's what we've been doing. That's what I've been doing. What's up? I'm sure there's stuff we could talk about in the news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
All right, so first up, going back in the dev tracker, that's actually about a week ago, right after our podcast last week. Somebody started a thread that said, hey, that HK chapter, the HK55 chapter, that was a unique reward for being subbed for 6 months around the end of Knights of the Eternal Throne. The thread was saying, hey, can we get that? It would be nice if that was sort of added in or purchasable somewhere. Eric replied and said, yeah, it's not impossible. We don't have a plan just yet. We'd certainly want to be sensitive to what people had to go through to get it. So if we do introduce it back in, the thinking is it would need to be commensurate with the effort and cost that went into getting it the first time, which is reasonable. But in that it could then be on the board at some point to be introduced back into the content pipeline in some way. So you might have to buy it off the cartel market, you might have to be subbed for a number of months, but this is a really cool chapter. I've only played through it a couple times, but now I want to play through it again. It's got some really unique elements to that chapter with the HK55 quest line that you do not see anywhere else in any other chapter or part of the game, including a part where you are underwater and you complete an area. You sort of have to do some things swimming underwater, which is pretty unique.
And the music during the underwater thing is really
And
cool.
the sound effects and everything. Yeah, you're right. Ah, yeah. All right, now I got to go back and do it. So that's that.
Okay, so I, I've I see where I see their point that they want to make it not too easy to get to because they want to maintain the value that people who already got it put into it. But there's also some value to having had it all this time.
Right. Right. So maybe discount it. Maybe apply a depreciation schedule of some kind. My daughter's
I don't know
putting
how that
in
would work. Like, I guess for
accounting degree.
instance, like when we got that Ogurub trainer, I forget what we got that
I
for.
think that was pre-order of
Rise of the
Mookhead,
Hut
Rise of the
Cartel,
Hut
maybe.
Cartel. Yeah.
Um, I did not feel bad at all when they came out with the other trainers, like I think it's Satil Shan and anyway, um, so
Yeah. I don't feel bad
and,
either.
and they
So
made
yeah, give it to people.
yeah, and they've made the Revan statue, the Revan merchant thing available too, and it was really hard to get in the beginning and really expensive, and
True.
they made that more. They've had it on sale and stuff like that, and for direct sale when you used to have to buy crates to get it.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
anyway, I'm just saying, people who want that chapter and they want the HK55 the Zoom I think that comes from it, I do not begrudge it them.
No,
I'm just saying,
I agree.
BioWare.
Give it to everybody. But you know, I'm fine with
Yeah,
you in that
Starry
regardless.
Saber says the same. I think everyone should. I mean, it'd be nice to offer it to more people. So
Yeah. What else?
also
What
the
else we got?
the public test server has gone offline now,
Yes.
and I think that's a clear indicator. And plus, they already told us that the patch is coming. And Eric also made a hint about the nightlife event maybe coming back this summer, which I think they've hinted at before. I'm pretty sure it's coming
Yeah. So it was all
back
all
this
part of
summer.
that same thread. For whatever reason, hey, PTS is down. Dantooine incursion. Blah blah blah. The first comment back was, "Hey, bring back the nightlife event." I don't know why it was commented on right there, but yes, Eric replied right there and said, "Yeah, we tend to run the nightlife event in the summer." So you can look forward to another slot machine of lies and sadness. Uh,
And that event it doesn't go in the rotation. It can be happening while the rotation event might be happening also,
true,
right?
true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
That's
a
how
good
I
point
remember it
because
anyway.
it lasts a long. I mean, it tends to last
Yeah, yes, like 6
the
weeks.
entire summer. And Seema really wants to come back
Yeah,
because, of
maybe.
course, she loves the nightlife.
Yep, that was me.
Yeah, that was Seema back in the day. Um, yeah, good one. So in that, saying that the PTS is coming down, yes, that's the clear indicator that 5.10.3 would be available soon, and they confirmed that with a nice blog post as well. So it went in the dev tracker. Yes, 5.10.3 will be released soon. They did the full write up of the pirate incursion, which is here's what's up on Dantooine. Here's the details of the story behind it and what's going on. Basically, the Republic is trying to settle, colonize, set some stakes in the ground on Dantooine, and the Empire doesn't like that, and the pirates are out for profit and booty, as pirates tend to be. And depending on which side you're fighting for, if you're fighting for the Republic, you're trying to just clear the pirates out. If you're fighting for the Empire, you're trying to basically help the pirates just disrupt the Republic. So they sort of explain and walk through that, which is pretty cool. And they listed out the rewards that will be coming, including a couple interesting things. Hey, Seema, anything jump out to you off of this list here?
Yes, an Ugnaught companion.
Ugnaught Companion. Now, you had a good point when we talked about this.
Well, yeah. Okay. So the way they listed it makes it just sound like it's a companion, like an act dog is a companion, like a beast companion. But I'm sure it's going to be somebody with a name and a personality,
I would hope.
and because I mean, they're people.
Ugnaughts are people too.
Ugnaughts.
People.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just not like random Ugnaught. It should be like Bob the Ugnaught.
Yes. Ugnaught Bob.
And Bob's got a wife at home, Karen, and this is what they do. And he likes to talk about what him and Karen are doing on the weekends when they go antiquing. Ugnaughts have lives, so hopefully yes.
Like when, yeah, like when they ever bring Mako back, they're not going to say bullet point human companion returns.
Right, exactly, because she's cyborg anyway. She's not human.
Okay, whatever.
So yeah. Also on this list.
Okay, I restate my point. They don't say Trandoshan companion for Kaizen Fest. They say
You're right.
Kaizen Fest.
You're right. They don't. Yeah. And when they bring back Kefis as a companion, they better not
And plus
say
Mako is
random
back.
Trandoshan. I also saw there was a pet. A pet. Why did they say mini pet?
Okay,
Are there
so
not
that's why I
mini
have this
pets?
Warhound out. See,
Oh.
because this
Where's your warhound?
there's a
I'm
pet.
staring at
The pet
giant
is
Gree
a
face.
calf hound, and I have this Warhound, which is also a calf hound, just to show you what they look
Point him
like.
towards the light here. Point him this way. The lighting is bad on Ilum here because it's permanent night. Hello. Oh, look at him. He's got like a Ugnaught face. Kinda.
Yeah, and he's got little like ram
Got
horns.
little horns. So what did this say? Cath Hound mini pet and Cath Hound mount. Interesting.
Yeah, I can't have. Yes, I want both of those, and I want the Ugnaught companion. What can I
And the
say?
walker mount, although I've got like 3 other walker mounts.
I have. To tell you the truth, I do too. And whenever the walker mount comes up in my rotation, because I have that,
Yeah.
favorites key, I go, I wish that hadn't come out.
Yeah. Why is that? I'm only so on the walker mounts as well. I mean, look, I've got like a bunch of favorite mounts like pinned here on the side, and the walker mount is not one of them. I've got like I got like this one I like, the big red whatever thing. I've got a couple of the pod racers that I really like. Here, this one's gonna scare Seema. Oh, it's a Rancor, Seema! Run!
Yeah, I have a Rancor too, and I'm like the same thing. When my Rancor comes out, I'm like,
Well, this is
too
the
big.
hollow Rancor, so it's okay.
It's too hard to say. Yes, if I had a chance to get the Hollow Rancor, I would still go for it, but I don't know if I would actually use it. But the chat room is educating me on the fact that Mako is already back. I guess I haven't, not being a Mako waiter
Oh, that's
myself, I just
right.
haven't really
Well,
noticed
why
it.
don't I have her yet on my mercenary? I think I like missed some little side thing, and I have to like go do a thing because I have not gotten
Yeah, because
Mako back on my
I
merc.
just listened to Max crying in his wee big pillow that he doesn't have his Mako back.
I was actually not because Lana's my girl, but um
Oh
Mako's a little
yeah,
young. But no, actually I don't.
that's true.
I'm loyal though. I already said Mako, you and me, we're going to the end of the universe restaurant at the end of the universe. So I will check back in with her when I can. But somebody post in the chat room or something what I did wrong that I reminded me of what I need to do. Oh, you get back on an alliance alert with a Kavi. Okay, I didn't do all my alliance alerts. I'm way behind on my alliance alerts. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I am. Anyway, that's 5.10.3. Look forward to it on May 28th. I think Seema predicted that
Yes.
about 3.5 years ago. That 5.
Easily 3.5 years
5.10.3
ago.
would be out on May 20th. What else we got? Ooh.
Also, Daniel made a post about the articles that he's working on. He is, yeah, he's, I guess, the most, I don't see in the list here, but the work, okay, he's working on the Spoils of War, which is going to be the post about how the new gearing system will work.
Yes.
I get that would be the hardest one to write because I imagine that he has to interview multiple people, system down. I mean, like, I cannot explain the system we have right now to anybody.
Right.
So I can imagine one that isn't even implemented yet.
And this is going to
Would be hard
open
to
up a
explain.
whole can of worms, I'm sure.
Yes.
So they need to be careful how they craft that one to start, and then just be prepared for the onslaught of, the percentage of the audience that says, here are all my questions, trying to figure out exactly how this works. The other percent of the audience that says, you're terrible and you should delete your company and never design a game again because that's not the way gear should work ever. There'll be plenty of that going on back and forth because this will be a touchy topic.
Also says that he was going to try to publish like a schedule, but he found that was not workable. So instead, he's just sharing what he's working on and or what he's possibly working on. Like he might do some deeper background on the 2 new planets, Onderon and Meksha. He
Cool.
might do some history on the Nautilans, which would be cool.
Also cool.
Class changes. And there's a few key story points he might put into some kind of a story post.
Interesting.
But
Including a
all
state
those
of the galaxy
ideas,
type of article. Yeah, that looks interesting.
yeah. So he's not 100%. He's not committing to any of those. Those are the ones that he's possibly going to do, depending on, I imagine, amount of time and where he has access to the right info and the right people,
Right.
and to pull it all together.
But pin this thread if you want to keep an eye on. It seems like so.
Yes.
Daniel went back and updated the top post in this thread when the Pirate Incursion post got done. He moved that up to published, and he bumped up Spoils of War into work in progress because that's what he's working on next. So
yeah, that's what he said he's going to do, is just continue to modify this original post,
which is cool. So keep an eye on that. That will continue to be a place where hopefully we'll see that scrolling view of what content is in progress. Also up in the news in Le Dev Tracker, because the stuff on Dantooine is the Pirate Incursion is an event. They've updated the events page on SWTOR.com. So there's a news article for what are the in-game events for each month. So the in-game events for May now include, Rakul's Relics of the Gree, which is this week, and that's what we're talking about. Pirate Incursion starts May 28th. That will then end up being part of the rotation. I heard, May 28th to June 4th. I heard Pirate Incursion is going to be out for 2 weeks. So this is not, that's not 2 weeks though, May 28th to June 4th. So they need to update
I think
that.
it's going to be up for 2 weeks, but it's like 2 1-week events. So when he picked up
so
that
then it'll be in the June
date,
one, we'll say June 5th to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they did say that even though it's going to last for 2 weeks, it's going to be like 2 1-week iterations of it happening.
Yeah, which makes
serially.
sense, right? Because then you can do the weekly, a second time. Now run away.
We get a head start.
Or I will do the weekly a second time.
Second time.
Yep. So that is that. So that's most of the news in the guild. The old guild news. We are continuing our work with Conquest, and just in general, because people are doing a bunch of things in OSIS, we're continuing to roll typically with medium yield for our weekly events. But look at where we are right now for this week. We're already 2/3 of the way to almost 2/3 of the way to our medium target after the first night. I almost feel like we could just say, I feel like on any given week we could go large, but people would have to do work then. And not that we wouldn't do it, and not that we wouldn't get it, but we're going to continue to roll with medium. And some of the idea in the back of everyone's mind, just so everyone knows, is to be banking materials and be banking unassembled, assembly components and that kind of thing, in case we go after a Total Galactic War week coming up and try to win a planet. So keep an eye out for that.
We're just coming up really soon, like.
Oh, really?
Next.
Oh, well, I guess. Yeah. we should plan ahead.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see on that.
Okay. What else? Oh, what did we do this week? On Friday.
Oh, well.
Or Saturday.
We had our May Mega on the 11th, which was a World Boss Crawl pub side. We had an awesome turnout. Marcus did an awesome job of bringing together lots of people, and we went from World Boss to World Boss and just killed a whole bunch of them. We did not kill the World Boss on Balmora because there isn't one on the pub side, and this was a pub side event. But we will do that on the imp side sometime.
Mm-hmm.
The next Mega, June Mega, watch this space.
Yes. It will be uh, mega. It will be monthly, and it will be epic. But we don't know exactly
Yes.
when or what
And it'll
just
be a
yet.
group activity.
Yeah,
No, guild activity.
Marcus of the Working Class Nerds podcast, one of our other officers, will have something cool planned, I'm sure. What's the entity in Scum and Villainy? That's the hateful, right? The dreadful
Hateful.
is Terror from Beyond. The hateful is in Scum and Villainy. I watched a Nightmare team try to do that just about 2 weeks ago. I think I mentioned it last week on the podcast. That looks hard. So
Yeah.
so maybe I won't suggest that for the next mega. In community news, uh, Daniel has also done another of the Meet the Creators content posts on the official StarWars.com, SWTOR.com website. And this week it is Volk. If you don't know who Volk is, Volk has a brilliant website and videos to go along with it. He's been doing that for quite a while. He's one of the sort of the top content creators along those lines. So check that out. Volk's got some good stuff up there. His website with the post that he does is also pretty good for some basic and some advanced guides. Here's a picture of Volk's characters. A lot of people were really impressed by these blades. I think he posted on Twitter somewhere what crystal these blades were, because it's some special crystal for those lightsabers.
I mean, he's an avid Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah.
And he has a lot of news on his site. Like, you know how with SWTOR news, sometimes it comes in the blog and sometimes it comes in the dev tracker and sometimes it comes by an interview and sometimes it comes from a live stream. Well, if you want one place to get all the news, this would be it.
Mm-hmm. So good site, good content creator. I like this series that Daniel's doing, so keep an eye on it. It's cool stuff. All right. And to wrap it up, Seema, what do you got to say?
Yeah, to wrap it up, shout out to the chat room, especially um, you guys keep us honest. This, like, for instance, educated me on the return of Mako. That's just a tiny example, and time after time when you've kept us on the straight and narrow. And thank you for coming week in, week out. We love you.
You guys are the best. And with that, I think we're gonna learn. We're gonna do some learning. Let's crack open a holocron of learning.
Deep in the ancient, monster-infested tomb of Marka Ragnos, there is a holocron filled with dark secrets and encased in a great stone monument.
And how do we open ancient monuments
Lightning.
and dark secrets? We shoot lightning at it, because we never learned to read, and so we just lash out in rage, as Zorks are wont to do. So right here on my screen is a Gree. It is a picture of a Gree. They are cephalopods. They're six-limbed cephalopods. I believe it's 6 limbs. 4, 5, 6. But then they've got these 2 little ones there. That's like 8. And then they got things coming out of their back. Are they 6 or 8? Anyway, these are the Gree. They are a very ancient race, and so they're like even before the Rakata. They're like so old. They're like older than old. In fact, maybe one of the oldest to really get out and explore the galaxy. And when they got out there, they did some things. They built some stuff. Over time, they sort of diminished as a race, and there were a couple wars that they were involved in. But one of the things they did early, well, among a few things that we've encountered, is they built some monuments and machines and things like the planet Assation and where Terra from Beyond comes from. That was a Gree installation, for example. The Dread Masters corrupted that. They brought their forces there, and that's where they were trying to bring the Terra from Beyond through the Hypergate, the ancient Hypergate. The Gree actually come to you when you start, if you do the quest for Assation for Terra from Beyond. The Gree are the quest givers to give you that quest. They're basically the ambassadors that come and say, hey, the Dread Masters are messing around. We wouldn't mind you sending a strike team there. I mean, they're going to destroy the whole galaxy. We've got trillions of people that are impacted. So we're thinking if you send 8 people to solve this, that's the best strategy.
Yes.
As always. So that's them. Also, back in their ancient history, they invented a research vessel called the Grey Secant. And the Grey Secant was sent out to roam the galaxy and learn. We don't know exactly why and for what purpose. In fact, the Gree don't really even know anymore. They don't even know exactly how some of their stuff works or what or why the whole thing was sort of set up. But it turned out that one day the Grey Secant showed up over the planet Ilum, which is what you see if you look up in the sky right now during the event. This sort of round ship thing is the Grey Secant. That is the genesis of the Gree event. So that's what we're going to talk through this week. We're going to talk through the Gree event and the Xenoanalyst fight in particular because it's a really cool lair boss fight that's part of the event. It's here this week. We decided to do it for MFN. We usually do the Xenoanalyst fight if it comes up on one of our weeks for our mandatory fun night in the guild. It's always been cool. I like to do it whenever it comes up. But it's also fun to talk about the Gree. The Gree are canon. This is something to keep in mind. They haven't shown up, but they've been mentioned in canon lore for Star Wars. I don't think it was actually named in the movies, but in some of the canon content around the movies, it's out there. So the Gree are a thing. In the Legends write-ups and some of the things you can read about, that's where you get sort of where they came from and what wars they were involved in and that kind of stuff. Whenever I think of the Gree, and especially what goes on with these quests, I don't trust these squiddly creatures. I suspect that this is a trap. They bring and you'll see when we show you what some of these daily events are and what the Xenoanalyst is in particular. They are capturing data, and they are capturing data in particular about strengths and weaknesses of us as a fighting force. So here's this ancient, super powerful race. They come down to the planet and they say, hey, it would be really cool if you just like show me all your weapons and how good you fight and all your strategies for battle. That would be really cool. I'd really like to see that. And we just go, okay, sure. Here's all our strengths and weaknesses. This is, if you wanted to kill us all, this is how you would do it. And we're just supposed to trust that this ancient race is just totally benevolent and has no plans to use any of that data. So that's one. So title of this podcast is Don't Trust the Gree. Two, our other speculation from tonight that we came up with in Mandatory Fun Night is, in addition to all of this data gathering in this galaxy far, far away a long time ago, they got so much data together that this is what created Facebook. So they were the genesis of all the data gathering that became Facebook in the future. So basically, Mark Zuckerberg is the emperor of modern day, of the modern day galaxy. So you have that.
Right.
So when Congress says, Mark, is it legal for you to gather all of this data on all of these people? Mark's response, of course, is, I will make it legal. So that is the deal. That is where we're at. So what do you think of the whole event in general, Seema? What are your sort of opening comments on the Gree and all of this stuff we do in Ilum?
I mean, obviously the Grey Secant is, I love the design. It's like the Terror from Beyond kind of design with just that Gree look. I like everything Gree. Ever since we first meet the ambassador for the Gree in Coruscant, if you are leveling a Republic character, I like their language, their approximation of language, black bisector and all that.
Yeah.
I I like the Xenoanalyst fight. I like that it's a lair boss and not a world boss. And I've done the dailies religiously on many years. Nowadays, I just do one because I get conquest points for it, and so I'm not in that place anymore where I do all the dailies, but they're pretty good dailies. I enjoyed them, so yeah, I think it's a good one. I like it better than Bounty Contract Week, for instance.
Right. I do as well. I like I like the rewards better. I like in fact the rewards are a key
Yeah.
reason I would continue to do
Yes.
the Gree event. I definitely like. I mean, as I've said many times before, I like the look of Terra from Beyond, which is Gree architecture. It's that sort of really techno future Tron looking
Tron.
deal, very sci-fi, as opposed to like ancient Sith ruins, which are interesting but more temple and ruiny. I really like that technical sci-fi look of the stuff. Uh, and then yes, the rewards. So one of the things that you do is as you're doing, you're getting the currency, which are the gray helix components. That currency is used on the reputation vendors depending on your reputation level to buy. Oh, in fact, I have the reputation. I could just buy this. um, I didn't have it on this character, and I didn't realize, which I should have. So there's two pets you can buy, which I really like. One of the pets is the gray secant itself, which follows you around, floating in the air around your head, which is really cool. But my most favorite part of dealing with the Gree and the rewards that you get from the Gree are the legacy,
Yeah.
the legacy weapons, and especially the legacy offhand. So the legacy offhand component is something I use on almost every character that has a mirror class where I'm doing something like here. In fact, that's what I've got on this character, a gray helix focus. So I can take that focus and I can share it with my sage on the Republic side. It's difficult to find, and in fact, before when the Gree first were introduced to the game, this was the only place you could pretty much get a legacy offhand item, so that you could move mods back and forth and share them between two different characters. So these are really cool, and the Gree weapons are some of my favorite in the game also. So on this, and that's the main weapon I carry. I didn't do it special for this. This is the look of my Sork. This is what he wears permanently, and it's looked like this for years. The top half of his armor is Gree armor, and his weapon is the Gree weapon. And if you look at the effect on the blade, it's got that sort of like that digital techno effect on the blade. That's a hilt effect. That's a Gree hilt effect. That's not a crystal. So super cool. I always liked it. I like the armor sets. You can look at some of the other NPCs that are standing around the Gree here. They're wearing some of the armor sets and carrying some of the other weapons. My sniper uses the sniper rifle. This is the assault rifle. Really cool looking as well. There's the blue, red, and black versions of the... Wait. No, blue, red, and white versions of the armor. Black and red, black and blue, and white and blue versions of the Gree armor, which I really like too. And the mounts, the sphere
Oh yeah, those.
ball mounts.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those, Seema?
I do.
I don't think I have it on this character also. This is not my main.
Like one of them you can buy with just gray helix components. One of them you need a combination of gray helix components and snow-covered parcels. And then the other one, the third one, you can buy with just gray helix components.
I don't even know what it would be
They're
called in my collection. Right, and maybe they're not in collections because you have to buy them with the components. The red one is one that doesn't. The red one isn't one of them a rare drop off of hard mode Xeno? Also,
Maybe.
I think there's one of them.
This
Yeah.
is what they look like. This is the blue one.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Isn't that cool? That's pretty neat. How neat is that? That's neat. All right.
But I mean, especially when this event was new, all the different offhands that you could buy, it was really the first comprehensive list of offhands that you could legacy shuffle.
Right.
And before the Gree were here, you were really lucky to find a vibroknife, for instance.
Right. A vibroknife or a generator,
or
a shield generator. Yeah, the vibroknives
right.
and shotguns. Right.
Right. That the scout. Yeah.
So here's the miniature gray secant pet floating in the air, follows you around. That's really cool. The
Okay.
who's talking? Stop talking, droid. The Gree data core looks like a companion cube from Portal, but
Yes.
without the hearts on it, and that follows you around. Very cool as well. So that's why you would do it. Now, I guess let's walk through, and then we'll get to the Xeno itself. What do? You go here. You get two different kinds of dailies. There's the PVE dailies. There's the PvP dailies. And then, so I guess more than two, but those are the main kind of dailies that you're doing, are the PvE and the PvP dailies. Um, because if you've got the rep, if you're at legendary rep, or you've got enough rep tokens, you can just pick one kind of dailies. You don't have to do all of this. In fact, I don't do many of them anymore. Mostly doing the Xeno Analyst to get the extra Gray Helix components is the key reason I would be doing that. But you do the heroic, you'll get a Gray Helix component. You do the regular dailies, you're only getting rep tokens. So it's not as interesting to be doing any of the dailies besides the heroic and the Xeno Analyst when it comes around, if you're at full rep. But the fact that there's PvP and PvE dailies is a little bit of an interesting spin to this event. So if you look at the map, the PvE dailies are either in this northern area on Ilum or up in the Grey Secant itself. There's another one up in the Grey Secant. And they're easy ones to sort of group up. And the heroic, you do need to group up. It is pretty significant, and it just will take forever. You could probably try to solo it, but it'll take forever if you're soloing it. And it's not a quick mission. You have to go through multiple waves of clicking the thing and killing a champion and killing waves of ads, and then click it again. Again, it's all sort of set up as these testing challenges is sort of the theme of a lot of these. The other two kinds of dailies are down in this circular area in the middle, which is a contested area. Those PvP dailies are similar to the PvE ones, except you're doing it in a contested area. And the way this contested area works is anyone not in your group, no matter the faction, is open season, open target PvP. So everyone is red in there if they are not in your group, your /G group that you're grouped up with. So be careful when you go down there. Even if someone else is Imperial, they could potentially fight you, and that's all part of the deal down there. In fact, the dailies down there are designed a little bit that you're like running these spheres you need to go and grab and bring over to a part in the center. They're designed to be sort of going after this somewhat restricted resource and carrying it across the map, which is tailor-made for someone to come and kill you while you're doing that.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the whole purpose of them. Here, let's take a ride up north, Seema, while we're talking, and talk about a couple more things up here. As you go north, as you're going up into this daily area, there's both humanoids and creature mobs that you're fighting. It's part of the daily, and there's a couple world bosses. So there's the lair boss, which is the Xeno Analyst, but then there's two caves, one in the east and one in the west, and that's where the two world bosses are at. One of them is called Surgok, and he's a giant worm. We probably won't see them here on the planet because on a Tuesday night, they're always farmed and they're always dead. Yep, no worm here. So Surgok is one of them, and Gravok, the one on the other side, is a giant wampa. Two open world bosses. They're in caves, but they're not instanced, so you do have to fight over them, and you do have to wait for them to respawn. It's easier to get them later in the week. The first time you go through on the planet, you do get a one-time mission to kill both the world bosses and the Xeno Analyst, but that's one time per character. After that's done, you can go back and kill those world bosses. You're mostly killing them if they are a conquest target, which this week, because it's also the Relics of the Gree Conquest event, you'll see that there you get, I think you get 5k, yeah, 5k conquest points for killing each one of them. And you also get a bigger rep token if you kill them, if you still need rep as an outcome as well. So there's those guys. And then as you go further and further north, you go past some of these other areas where you do you go past the big pylons where you do the heroics. There are multiple places on the map, including in the PvP area. You could do the PvE, some of the PvE missions in the PvP area. But all the way in the north here, as you look up in the air, there's the Grey Secant. When the event is not going on, all of this stuff on the ground still exists, except the mobs aren't here, and the Grey Secant is gone, which I always thought was cool.
Yeah.
So
it's a very cool ship to begin with.
Yeah, very very cool ship. But the fact that they take it, it flies away and it's no longer hovering above. It's this giant ship and it's no longer hovering above the planet, is quite interesting.
Realism.
Cool. It's real. It's immersive, man. There's 2 entrances to get into the Grey Secant. If you go in the wrong one, then the guard droids will kill you, which is hilarious. Did you kill him? I did not kill him on this character. Did you kill him on the character you're on?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, then we can just walk in there and
Yeah.
while we start talking. But I also took video, so we can show that off as well. So the coolest thing, I think, is and there's a couple other side quests. Let me be clear. In fact, it's the first time you need to get enough rep to even get into the Grey Secant the first time. You need to be at like friendly level rep or something, and then you buy an item off the vendors that allow you to get into the Grey Secant the very first time.
I think it's just it's the one before friendly.
Neutral or whatever it is.
Outcast or whatever. I forget what newcomer. I don't know.
Newcomer. That sounds right. Boy, something killed. Did our companions just waste those guys? Wow, that was violent. But also then the first time you come in here, is it there or is it over here? Where's the little guy? Maybe he only shows up if you haven't done it yet. The first time you come in here into the Grey Secant, there is a mission giver that shows up that gives you a one-time mission. And that one-time mission is called Ancient Gree Relays. That mission takes you all over the galaxy. So you need to go find.
It's a little bit deeper in.
He's deeper in than here? He's not. It's not. I thought it was right here by the entrance. Maybe not. Wait, is it over there? No. Yeah. No, I don't see it. I didn't think it was down the hall though. Anyway, somewhere around here. These droids are annoying. Each of these droids spawns simulated ads. Again, it's more of that idea of simulated and testing you and... Okay, come in here. You see it in here? Yeah. There. Go in this room on the side. Take one last quick look, and if not, we're just going to talk about it regardless. No. Oh, yeah, here it is. You're right. Seema's right, guys. Seema's right. This one time. In addition to all the other times that Seema's always right. We'll kill these ads, and then we'll talk about this guy. Because this is pretty cool, and you do get a pet for doing this. It's a one-time per character.
Yes.
But what it does... Here, in fact, if I click on it, let's see what it says. Blah, blah, blah. He talks in the Gree. You have to locate these 6 different droids. And those 6 different droids are located all on different planets around the galaxy. Osis, Ilum, Iokath. Where's event area?
Osis? Not Osis.
No, I was looking at my quest log trying to find it.
Oh.
So locate Takobanulu K on Droman Kaz. So it's all these Gree relay droids. Droman Kaz, Tatooine, Alderaan, Quesh, Hoth, Voss. You track them down, you find them, you find all of them, you locate them all, you scan them, and you get some rewards, 2 Grey Helix components, and the L1L Scout Companion Pet, which is a pretty cool little droid that follows you around. So that is pretty cool. I think there's a couple, if you're into them, a couple achievements, a couple lore objects, but that leads us to, you get far enough into the Grey Secant here, and the coolest thing is, of course, getting to mess around with the Xenoanalyst. So we'll get around the corner here in just a second. There's 2 entrances, same way of entering the Grey Secant itself down below. There's 2 Seema, are you just gonna let me die here?
No. Am I what? No.
Because my companion's stuck upstairs, so.
Yeah, I usually, you have to dismiss them and
Yeah, you have to dismiss them and resummon
summon
them,
them again.
or walk far enough away so that they jump down with you.
Yeah.
Because you jump down and you aggro the robots that are down at the bottom, and it's a problem. But then you come up here, you go across the bridge to the top, and you get to the entrance to where the Xenoanalyst is. The Xenoanalyst is a lair boss. It's a pretty cool.
And this is a lore object right here.
Oh, where's the lore object? Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Where are you? Oh, down below?
Down the stairs, yeah. Plus, I got my little L1 L Scout out.
Oh, there he is.
It's actually one of my favorite models for droid pets.
I must have this already because it's not lit up blue like the same color as everything else in this whole place and in this whole planet.
Yes.
They need to tint the glowy things something else if this is going to be the color palette. This is also this is sort of dangerous to go alone here. These guys hit pretty hard. But look, here's the Imperial entrance and the Republic entrance. Again, it's to sort of split people up. If you go and run in here, you go run in real quick, all those droids will aggro on you, but this guard droid in here will kill them all once they come in. Except my companion's now going to get killed. Come in here. Don't die. Oh, did you see that guard droid just annihilate them? Okay, so Seema jump in, and then I will jump in. Yes, that is fine. Lair boss. Round room. Xenoanalyst is in the middle, and I will show it in the pictures of the video before the fight starts as well, but we'll show you the room. Pretty cool fight. So the whole idea... Oh, wait, why is he sitting... Oh, he's completed. He's done. This is the Xenoanalyst. Xenoanalyst 2. Why is it called Xenoanalyst 2? I don't know. I never caught that. Anyway, this is the Xenoanalyst. When you come in, there's a control panel that's sort of a hologram control panel by the entrance, and that control panel starts the fight. And you click on that control panel, it says, oh, so you'd like to sign up to be tested. You're going to become part of our experiment. That's great. I'm now going to take a couple seconds and design a set of experiments to test your combat capabilities. So this is what I was saying. This is the data that they're gathering on us to test how well we fight and what our combat capabilities are and what we do. And we just are letting them know exactly how to kill us as a result.
They're just doing it for science, for
Science.
learning.
Advanced race who could crush us all just for science, because that's what we want to learn about, is how well you fight and die. They didn't ask like what my favorite color was. They didn't ask like, tell me about music in your galaxy. Just fighting. Very, very suspect. Anyway, he starts in the middle. You click on he's not even aggroable. Here, I'll show you what it looks like in the video. So here he is at the start of the fight. There's the panel. He's here. He's not. You can't even aggro him. He's just waiting here. My phone just turned on. That the agent on my phone woke up for some reason. Yes, I was talking about robots, but not you. You click on that glowy panel over there, and that starts the fight. Then multiple rounds of the fight start, and it is a pretty cool fight. Basically, it's multiple kinds of tests that the droid throws at you. So here, I'll just play through the video here a little bit. You'll see some of the things that go on. There's the situational awareness where he points at one of the cores around the outside of the room, and you have to be aware of which core he's lit up and which brought the shields down on. You need to go destroy that core. There's species comparison, where he brings out different waves of ads, and you have to fight and destroy those ads. There's, I forgot what this one is called, but even clicking the panels, that's got a name to it. Oh, problem solving evaluation. You have to click the panels on the pillars to start the next phase of the fight. Big AoE blast goes out. So there's various mechanics in here. There's a tank swap because there's something called thermal tolerance.
Thermal tolerance.
Thermal tolerance. It's best if the tank runs behind a pillar to break line of sight, because if thermal tolerance channels
And to drink.
if thermal tolerance finishes its channel, it basically does enough damage to kill a tank. So best way is to break that, or have extra cooldowns and extra heals going on. But you're going through these different waves, and all on this lair boss fight, and it's a pretty cool fight. So you can do it with 8 or 16 people, and in story or veteran modes. There's not really a nightmare mode. There's some little shortcuts if you wanted to say, oh, we're going to take the hit and not DPS down one of these cores, and we're going to take the extra damage and just be doing extra damage to the boss during that fight. You can do some of those kinds of tricks, but otherwise just
And skew their test results.
yeah, you're ruining the test results, but if you do it that way. Otherwise, it's, you doing it the normal way is easy enough, and it's fast enough. It's a real long enrage timer. It's 10-minute enrage, but worse and worse things are happening throughout the fight, so you don't really want to wait for the enrage. So here's the first wave of ads. The first wave of ads is four medium-sized ads. They're not too bad. The second wave of ads is 2 larger size ads. They're a little bit tougher, and the tanks need to be careful when they're tanking them. The third wave of ads is a big Rancor, and that Rancor, even the tanks often need to kite around, because that guy can do enough damage to potentially kill a tank. So you need to have cooldowns or extra healing or kite it. So things are getting worse and worse and worse progressively throughout the fight. So you need to be careful about that. And then the final phase, which I really like, you want to explain the mechanic for the final phase when the boss shields Seema?
Are you talking about urgency?
Yes, generating urgency.
Yeah, generating urgency. So basically, he starts just one-shotting people in order to inspire us to urgency, so that we can kill him quickly.
Yeah, I skipped way too far ahead in the fight. Yeah, so here he is. He's generated urgency, and the cast time gets faster and faster. So each time he casts it, it drops like a 0.1 seconds faster cast time, and picks a person at random. So it's not even necessarily a tank, although the tanks can keep taunting them back and take one if they've got extra taunts. But picks somebody at random and does this massive rail shot at people. And I love that it's called Generate Urgency, and it's a burn phase. So it's pretty cool. When you're doing the hard, the veteran mode that will kill people, and you basically, then it's a race between you DPSing down his last 15% or 20% of health before he basically one-shots everyone in your group and kills everyone. So it's a fun fight. It has a rare chance. Maybe it's only in veteran mode that it has the rare chance of dropping the red version of the Gree mount, which is really cool. Yeah. It does drop Grey Helix components, which are, again, the important currency that you want to sort of save up, because that's what you use to get the weapons and the offhands, which are really cool, plus the mounts and things like that. And it's just a fun fight in general. Get 8 or 16 people. Go in there and punch it in the face. It only comes around once a month or so, once every 6 weeks. Yeah, definitely do it if you haven't done it before. Chat room's asking if DP Roberts is asking if the reflect shield works against generate urgency. I don't know. That is a good question. Why have I not tried that? I certainly should have tried it. But it's cool regardless. So that's the Gree. Don't trust them. It's a trap. It's a trap. I'm telling you. They're. Oh, one last thing I forgot to mention on this fight. One of my favorite things. Also, a very rare chance. These waves of ads that are coming out. You've got the four medium size like ack dog looking mounts, the two larger ones, and the Rancor. There's a rare chance that one of those waves could end up as a pack of about six to eight Jawa that just run in and try to fight you. And they're really weak. They're just little Jawa. But so you have this rare chance that the Jawas show up, and that's your wave of ads, and you just mow them down, and you get an easy wave, an easy spawn. They should do more of that. They should just do more of like a rare chance of a random fun thing showing up in a fight. I haven't seen the Java show up in years for whatever reason. But that would be hilarious if just, whatever, you're doing Brontes, instead of one of the hands pops out of the ground, a Jawa pops out of the ground and comes and runs around. That'd be pretty funny. I don't know why.
Some healing things on this fight. He can hit the tanks pretty hard and pretty suddenly. So like when this, namely when the fight first starts, the tank who taunts him for thermal tolerance. So like everyone's paying attention to the tank that's running away, but the one that taunts him and takes his next big shot usually takes a pretty good hit. So basically, it's keeping the tanks up. There's nothing that the DPS. There's no damage that the DPS is going to take that they could avoid. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's a little bit of
It's only
AoE
avoidable damage. Yeah.
If you stand behind the pillar,
up until the end, yeah.
You don't take damage. You could get some blasts of AoE damage out on the raid a little bit. You could, if a DPS doesn't let the tanks grab aggro, they could aggro one of these ads and take a bunch of damage. Otherwise, you can you just ignore the DPS. The tanks have a lot of spiky damage, big burst damage on the tanks in this fight. So yeah, listen to Seema, focus on those tanks, and both of them, whichever one is going to be grabbing aggro after that thermal tolerance. The second tank is going to taunt during thermal tolerance. So as long as the first tank runs behind the pillar and breaks that channel of the thermal tolerance, then they're not going to take any more DPS. They're not going to take any more damage. The boss is going to turn and punch the other tank in the face really hard. So watch out for that.
Which is a good strategy on the boss's part.
It is. Wait,
DP Roberts says in the chat room that he'd like them to come up with another boss fight from the Gree where they actually use the data that they gathered against us.
I think that I speculated on this in the past that this could be an expansion at some point where now the Gree have gathered enough data that they're going to come back to invade the galaxy and destroy us all. Why? That seems like the perfect setup. They're like this ancient race, advanced technology, and now they've gathered data on exactly how to destroy us all. It's a recipe for disaster. So
I think one of the things I like about this fight is, how we sometimes mock a boss fight by saying, I'm going to send 5 of my guys against you. Well, that didn't work. I'm going to send another 5 guys, instead of just sending 15 guys to start with. Or using my big ability. In this fight, it's baked in.
Yeah.
Why there's phases and why he sends only, 4, because I'm going to gather data on how you deal with this.
Yeah. And then I'll
So
I'll progress the test. We'll do another round. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's very logical the way the fight is laid out, and you don't have to suspend disbelief like Corruptor Zero, which is, I have legions of robot ads, and here's 5 of them to come and fight you.
Right.
Oh wait, you killed all of those ones? Let me get another 5. What are you doing? Like, why don't you just send 1,000 and just kill us all? No, Scott, you don't understand how Daddy works. It's like Dr. Evil. I'm gonna put him in an easily escapable situation, close the doors, and walk away. No. All of the bosses are Dr. Evil. Yeah, so awesome fight, awesome event. We'll get another one, so we might see this one a little less often because now Dantooine's going to be in the rotation. So get on it this week while you can. We might not see it again for a couple months, but that is the Gree. So enjoy. And with that, I think we'll grab our EPC 292 droid and kick them out an airlock so they can broadcast this podcast to all of you. Thank you for joining us on the podcast tonight, or whenever you are listening to this. Please keep up with us on Twitter at MaxTheGray or at AIESEMA. And if you know any cool people that should be playing the game with us, that's why we do this podcast. Have them come check us out on YouTube /New Overlords, on Twitch /New Overlords, or find our guild, Alea Iacta Est, on Starforge, on AIE-guild.org. They can find our guild Discord on there. All the links are broken tonight. I'm going to have to redo those links on the guild website. But they can get into Discord. They can catch up with us and ask us for a guild invite. We would love to have you. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone. And Marcus.
And Carrie.